Hello YouTube, April 18th, 2019, third video of the day. So excuse me if I sound a little bit drained. It's actually 8 o'clock at night. Y'all know this is actually the latest in years that I've actually done a video 8 o'clock at night. I think the last time I was able to do a video this late at night was way back in 2014. So shout out to this darn new freed up schedule that I have for the time being until next week. But anyways, I want to get into some politic talks. Y'all know election time is coming around again. Y'all know I get into my canvassing and stuff. But this coming up, I am confused on who I'm going to canvass for. I'm thinking that I might not even be canvassing, honestly, just on the local level. I might just, focus on my relatives and, other positions on the local level in North Carolina. But as far as the presidency, I don't feel confident. I mean, from what I've seen, from what the Democrats have to offer, I don't know if I can even stay with the Democrats come 2020. I don't know if there's going to be a switch, if it's possible for the Republicans to put up a candidate, because I'm actually going to do a whole separate video on what it would take for me to switch over to Republican as far as voting for a Republican in 2020. But right now, if the Democrats want to maintain this vote over here, I want to break down what they need to do. So currently, I think it's like 18 people on the Democratic ticket. I got about 6 of them that I'm going to pull up for y'all that we're going to go into. So let's go ahead and get into it. So first, let's start off with Pete. So we're going to go from left to right. So not that much information on Pete. So Pete for America, I think this is his official page. Now, me as a person who is dominantly black, what I'm for is, to give y'all a little bit of political background on myself before I go on and tell you, I am an independent. I do tend to lean liberal. I am pro black rights. I'm pro LGBT. I am pro Native American rights, etc. I am for raising the minimum wage to $12 an hour. And then over time, as the economy gets better and as other jobs in that tax bracket, such as doctors, RNs and stuff, are able to increase, then we can go up to $15 an hour. So I believe in the Hillary Clinton rate of raising the minimum wage versus trying to push it to $15 an hour. I don't think that's ideal to do it just pushing it 15. Um, what else am I for? I am for women's rights to a certain extent, as far as I am pro choice, with the exception of I am against late term abortions. I don't believe, a baby after 6 months should be aborted. In certain states, they allow a full term baby to be aborted, even if it's not in a dire medical case. So I'm definitely against that. Um, what else? I am definitely for stricter punishments on cops. I do believe cops should get double punishment for crimes. If you are enforcing the law, you have more of an obligation because you are in a system of power and you should know the laws above anybody. So if you're caught doing the law, I think there should be a bill passed where you should get double the time instead of getting favoritism and you getting half the time. There is no way you should be able to shoot somebody unarmed 16 times and you only get 7 years in prison. But a woman who is defending her house, a pregnant woman, shoots in the air one time and she's facing 20 years in prison. She's facing 20 years in prison for shooting at somebody that she couldn't possibly see was running out the house. And the moment she just shot the gun, she's facing 20 years. But you can shoot somebody unarmed in the back 16 times. I think, yeah, 16 times and it hit what, 3 times and the person died and you only get 7 years. You have multiple people getting choked out and darn gone you get off. Multiple people getting slammed to the ground. Yeah, I mean the list goes on and on. So far it's over 1,000 cases of darn gone unarmed darn gone police violence against a certain group of people that are melanated. Whether you want to call yourself Hebrew, Black, Indian, black, ADOS, honey, anybody that's darn gone black in America is under attack right now, and I don't believe in that. Also, it makes it bad for the good officers that are out there, such as the Nakia Jones, who is still facing discrimination down in Texas. I believe there should be a special organization set up for prosecution for officers. That way it dismantles the blue wall of silence. That way when you have innocent officers who are trying to do their job and report, the bad officers such as, Nakia Jones was trying to do and trying to hold justice, she doesn't get threatened for her life. There's also another officer, I will annotate her name. Beautiful sister with, a good grade of type 4 gray season afro. I can't think of her name right now, but um, I think she was in a similar situation, except she got out of hers. But we need officers like them to be in a special organization to prosecute other officers. There shouldn't be no favoritism. I don't believe officers should be tried by people that they are friends with on the DA and in the magistrate that they see on a regular basis. So yeah, I'm definitely for setting up a special prosecution. So that's just a little minor of my background of what I'm looking for. I'm definitely a little bit of a blend of both. But more about I probably do a whole video on the full depth of my politics because I really haven't even touched into the conservative side. But this is about the candidates. But that's just a brief synopsis of what I'm looking for in a candidate. But to go through my whole platform of what I'm looking for, tax, marginal tax rates, the extent of proposing modifications to amendments such as the 13th and 14th Amendment, all of that, that's too much right now for this video. So right now we got Pete. So Pete, what's his full name? So America's more than a broken Washington on DC. I know y'all don't want to hear me just read like a narrator, so I'm just skimming through. Y'all can pause the video if y'all want to look at any of this. I'm trying to get straight to the platform, like what is he for? Okay. Okay, see, I don't like his website already because it doesn't even show basically what he's for. Okay, beat Pete. Okay, I mentioned now what you for. Pete belongs to a generation that comes. Americans is further better than in the past. Okay, that's a very open-ended statement. We will put an end to endless war. We will summon the national will to meet the challenge of climate change. Okay, give me specifics. And y'all like to talk about this Green New Deal. Y'all like to talk about ending wars and all that. I love to know more specifics. That's what I need to hear. Ooh, I don't like this warm weather. Got flat gnats. Oh, okay, a little bit of background on him. I'm still ain't getting the platform, y'all. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do some research into Pete. He wasn't on the top of my list anyway, but damn, maybe we can get something out of this. YouTube, I'm using this for fair use. I'm not copying. The credit of the source is Pete4America.com. So don't strike me down for this.
Because the truth is, there is no honest politics that revolves around the word again. The truth is that we have to recognize that these changes are coming. The changes are going to happen with or without us. The question isn't, can we stop the changes and rewind them? The question is, how do we make sure those changes actually work for us? It can be done. And it must be done because that's how we're actually going to come together.
Also, I didn't like the crowd was all white too. Like, where is the brown skinned folks? Not even the black ones, but it's like I ain't see no Native Americans. I ain't see no hell. I ain't see no Kim Kardashian like there no Armenians, no Latinas. Like, you see that? Oh, I guess y'all can't see that. Y'all see all that right there? Just all white lives matter. Now I know he ain't probably that the white lives matter crew, but damn. Sometimes your lack of diversity, then it's like all older. Now, maybe in his defense, this was a very specific event. Maybe this was like I can't even really give it an old folks home. Everybody's standing up. They look like they able bodied. And so I can't even really give the excuse that this was an old folks facility. But yeah, damn. Where was this at? Okay, it did say he's from Indiana. So what's the black population in Indiana? Let me go ahead and do a Google search real quick. What is the black population in Indiana? Ooh, okay, so only 9.1% of the population is black. Okay, it definitely reflects that because I didn't see not one doggone seasoned person in that room. And not only that, with the video is just as doggone vague as this doggone thing. It gave more about his background than what he planned on doing for the country. Next, next case. Okay, Mr. Yang, honey, and no, I'm not being discriminatory. That's actually the name, Yang for 2020. So, Andrew Yang, running for president of the United States, is Democrat in 2020. His platform includes the freedom divide dividend as bold policy the country must adopt as it transitions through the economic uncertainties in the face of a large labor automation. Born in upstate New York, parents from Taiwan. First Asian American man to ever run for president of the United States as a Democrat. Oh, so we had Asians run for Republicans before. Okay, being the first Asian American president is not the motivation, but since announcing, he has become a role model to millions of Asians across the globe. Okay. Now let's get into this platform. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, Native American, Hispanic. I want to see the platform. I don't vote on identity politics, so you ain't about to get me because you're a minority. Let me see the platform. Is these a donations list of people that's donated? And the Asian community donating good for them. What is UBI? You know, what is UBI? Now these are the official websites. I know y'all can say, well, you can Google search what they're about, but I'm taking it what their official websites are. So if you can't even do good by doggone representing yourself, I can't, really take you all that seriously if I have to go to a third party to get information on what you about. Oh, okay, universe. Oh, he's the one I've heard about this universal basic income. Okay, so let's see what he's talking about on this. In the 12 years, 1 out of 3 America's workers is at risk of losing their jobs to new technologies, and unlike with previous ways of automation, this time new jobs will not appear quickly enough in large enough numbers to make up for it. To avoid the unprecedented crisis, we're going to have to find a new solution. Unlike anything we've done before, it all begins with universal basic income for all American adults, no strings attached. You know, oh, wait a minute. We wanted to see what it's about. Okay, is a form of social security that guarantees a certain amount of money to every citizen within a given governed population without having to pass a test or fulfill a work requirement. Every universal basic income plan could be different in terms or amount designed. Andrew Young is running for president. Okay. Yes. Guarantees payments of $1,000 per month or 12,000 per year to all U.S. citizens over the age of 18. Yes, that means you and everyone you know would get another $1,000 a month every month from the U.S. government. No, huh? So is that in addition to you working, or is that just guaranteed money? Like, is we handing out money now? I mean, I ain't complaining. Shoot, because we're going to get into the topic of reparations in a moment, which seems like it ain't happening at the moment. So, if you give me a little $1,000 a month, I guess, child, but the UBI is proposing for the United States to set a guaranteed payment of $1,000 per month or $12,000 per year to all U.S. citizens over the age of 18. It can get, wait a minute, ain't there's like a half a billion people in America that's over the age of 18? Like, can we, let me Google search how many people in America is over the age of 18 right now. What is the current amount of people in the U.S. that are over the age of 18? Okay, 74.2 million as of 2010 census. Oh Lord, that don't give me no help. I want to know how many people is over the age of 18, not under. And because I want to say there is what's the population of the U.S. Five. What is the population of the U.S.? Okay, so 327 million. Let's increase the number of that 74 million children under 18. Let's increase it to 100. So there's 227 million people in the world that is over the age of 18 who I guess, okay, 227 million times $12,000 a year. Ooh, so that is 100,000 million, 10 million, 100 million, billion, 10 billion, 100. Oh, Lord Jesus. So, under this proposal right now, from my rough estimates, he wants to give away $2.724 trillion. This is a rough estimate. I added 20 some thousand to the number of the 2010 census of children underneath the age of 18, and I subtracted it from the total population. And I got 227 million people currently in the United States that are over the age of 18. Now that probably doesn't include. I mean, is this naturalized citizen, all U.S. citizens? But we giving away $2.7 trillion to everybody. I mean, if we got it like that, can we talk about the reparations for the black people who went through chattel slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights eras, had to go through black codes, and we ain't got nothing yet. So I just want to throw that out there since you want to propose $2 trillion a year. See, Merriam-Webster has only proposed $100 billion, and then has recently gone up to $500 billion for darn black reparations. Mr. Yang over here wants to give everybody in the United States to the tune of $2.7 trillion a year. Now, despite the fact that we're $20 trillion in the hole, y'all complaining that y'all can't even give us as black people $100 billion in reparations. Well, somehow Mr. Yang wants to come in and thinks it, it, we can give away $2.7 trillion to everybody. Now, I'd love to see how that's going to work. Y'all can't even give us $100 billion, but somehow Mr. Yang thinks he about to give everybody to the tune of $2.7 trillion a year. Okay. Why does Angel Yang want to implement universal basic income? Yeah, I want to know why. Okay, technology. Okay, why not just increase the income? I mean, why not just increase the minimum wage to $12 an hour? Why is we just giving people free money as opposed to, the ones who are working? Like, who would get UBI? And okay, let's see if everybody getting a handout or is it just certain people? Every U.S. citizen over the age of 18 will receive $1,000 a month, regardless of income or employment status, free and clear. No jumping through hoops. Yes, this means you and everyone you know will receive a check for $1,000 a month every month starting in January. Oh, so he want, Lord child, he want to do this going through the door. He ain't making no. He said 2021. As soon as he darn gonna step in the door, this is gonna happen. Now, I love to know how this once again is going to go through the House of Representatives. So, once again, as of this moment, y'all don't want to give black people $100 billion for reparations. Now, I think we should get 5 trillion, in my opinion, $5 to $6 trillion. But y'all don't even want to give 100 billion. Y'all don't even want to entertain even the research of reparations. But you expect me to believe that the House of Representatives, because as the president, you don't just get to pass this law. It has to go through the House and then it has to get approved by the Senate. You expect me to believe that they're going to approve $2 trillion a year for an indefinite period of time? Indefinite. Every year, guaranteed. Everybody who's working, oh, you're homeless, you get this too. Because it says regardless of employment. So you can be jobless and they're gonna get this. As long as you 18, girl, you got a free $1,000 coming in every month. I don't that honey, and y'all talking about welfare queens and stuff. Honey, there's gonna be quite a few people that won't have to work with this, and I ain't in that type to typically judge. But you got $12,000 in guaranteed income, and then you got people in Kentucky, the largest recipients of food stamps. Honey, they get 12,000 on top of this, child. Okay, Yang, how will we pay for universal? Oh God, this should be a video by itself. It will be easier than you might think. Andrew proposes funding UBI by consolidating some welfare programs and implementing a value-added tax of 10%. What? Current welfare and social program beneficiaries will be given a choice between their current benefits or $1,000 cash unconditionally. Most will prefer the cash with no. Well, I bet they would. Now, I hope that doesn't include penalizing the ones who are on. Is child support considered a form of welfare? Because I think that comes directly from the pockets of the baby daddy or the baby mama, because you got some single fathers out here. Shout out to the single fathers. So is that going to be penalized too for the ones on welfare? The ones who have to get WIC, because honey, WIC is that shit gets pretty expensive. I don't know. So is they choosing between the WIC and the food stamps? Honey, some of y'all out here got $1,000 in food stamps, honey. Honey, share that call. No, I'm joking. don't y'all darn gonna say Juan out here darn gonna promote selling the food stamp. But but still 1,000. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna love to see y'all comments in the comment section on this baby. Although if you somebody who is homeless and only get $200 in food stamps, honey, I bet you they would take this instead. Okay, you recognize we 19 trillion in debt, but you want the darn gonna propose $2.7 trillion in darn on free money. Okay, 5 to 600 billion, but you're giving out 2.7 trillion. So wouldn't you be in a deficit even more? Wouldn't you be increasing that deficit? We supposed to be trying to bring the deficit down, baby. We ain't trying to bring it up. But of course, when you talking about China, honey, okay. We currently spend over $1 trillion on healthcare, incarceration, homeless services, and the like. We would save 100 to 200 billion as people would take better care of themselves and avoid the emergency room, jail, and the street, and would generally be more functional. Oh, really? So you think giving darn on black people or Latinos $12,000 in a system that encourages racial white supremacy. You think just tossing money at us is going to avoid so it's just a money thing. So giving us $12,000 is going to help us avoid jail. Really? Did you tell that to the teacher who was going to her job that pays $50,000 a year? She ran a red light and she got slammed to the ground. Did you tell that to the behavior therapist who went out to get his patient who was mentally ill and he got shot over 15 times? Matter of fact, let me pull up that name right now. I do believe as a psychiatrist, he makes $100,000. So do you think that's going to avoid him from darn getting unjustly shot? Ooh, let me pull up that name real quick. Mr. Jonathan Alito, and I would annotate that. Really? Philando Castile, who worked in the school system, you think that's going to darn help him avoid? You know what? Let me stop. Sandra Bland, really? And I love to know how is $12,000. Excuse the raspiness of my tone, the Carolinian coming out of me now. $12,000 is going to help cover predatory pricing when when they can easily adjust the darn insulin costs. People on insulin is paying $1,400 out of pocket. $1,400. That's going to help offset that. While you want to talk about proposing cuts and just tossing people $1,000. How is you going to promote more work? That $12,000 is not going to increase nobody's tax bracket. If you're in a job such as Walmart that pays darn and the irony that the world's largest, the United States' largest employer in the United States has the most people on food stamps. They average out of paying $11 an hour, 30 hours a week because they don't want to give nobody full time. So 330 a week, 1320 a month times 12, $15,840 a year. So you add $12,000, $27,840. Now the federal poverty line is darn gone $22.96 a month. So how far above poverty did you get them? Okay, the poverty line is 27,552. So Walmart, as of right now, is 27,840 for the average entry level worker per year, minus the poverty line of 27,552. So 27,552 minus 27,840. So you only make an extra $288. So tell me how is $288 is going to help any damn body? And that is just for Walmart paying $11 an hour. Let's not even get into the states that pay $7.25. So even if you're working 40 hours a week, you only making $290 a week. Times that by 50 weeks. Let's say you just work 50 weeks and take your standard 2 weeks. That's $14,500. $14,500. Yeah, I see that this video right here is going to be just with you, Mr. Yang. We're going to get to Kamal and everybody else. This video is going to be solely dedicated to debunking this darn on UBI. Because now this gonna piss me off. This thing, I ain't even supposed to give you this much time, but now this done piss me off. Because $14,500 is what the average person in 21 states, including the state of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia make at the time of this video. $7.25 an hour. Add $12,000 a year. That's $26,500. Now let's subtract that by the poverty line. Once again, the poverty line is $27,552. So even with your $12,000 through the UBI, you're still putting people $1,052 below the federal poverty line. So once again, show me how is this going to increase somebody's standard of living when they're still at the poverty line. I'll wait. Versus if you increase somebody's pay to $12 an hour and they work 40 hours a week, that's 480. 480 times 50 weeks. That's 24,000, still under the poverty line for the time being, but at least you have medical benefits that's not being deducted, because with this UBI, it's choosing either or. You got to give up your darn welfare benefits for this darn $1,000 payout that's not going to help you. Versus at least with this, you still have your insurances and everything else when you work full time. And then over time, we raised the minimum wage up to $15 an hour. But anyways, this done irritated me, honey. Is there evidence to support the case for UBI? I'd love to see that. I don't think it is. Experiments with unconditional cash benefits around the world have proven to be one of the most successful ways to reducing poverty. The fear that cash recipients will waste their money on drugs or alcohol, stop working, or have kids have been disproven by the World Bank. Many of the behaviors were actually reduced. Oh, really? I'd love to know how is that, because it's not like you giving them enough money to put them in a new tax bracket. Because you're also trading in, because it's not like you giving that in addition to it. Most people who are on subsidized assistance, they have to trade in some of these stuff. So if they got $900 in food stamps, you're only giving them an extra $100 in benefits per month. So that's $1,200 a year for somebody who has a house of $900 in food stamps coming in. But you know, they don't go into that. So it's $1,200 a year extra income and really putting somebody in a new darn life? Really? What is you going to do with $1,200? I done told y'all, hell, sir, if you on insulin, that can cause as much as $1,400. Don't you have a pre-existing condition either? And see, now, here comes the Republican in me coming out, because I don't believe in just giving darn on people just money willy-nilly without no premise. For the exception of reparations, which is old for darn on suffrage. See, there's a difference between giving people money for reparations, for darn on suffrage, work without darn on compensation, and darn on involuntary servitude and all that. Now, I believe in reparation benefits. But you talking about giving everyday darn people money, regardless of tax bracket and everything. Because it said basically Beyonce, Jay-Z, everybody getting $1,000 a month. The homeless person, the baby mama, everybody getting this $1,000 a month, right? Everybody getting this money. I still haven't seen where how is it going to supplement this darn how you going to profit off this? I mean, not even profit, but how is America going to afford it without putting us in the deficit? Because the only thing I seen was increased job growth to the tune of $600 billion. But I just darn showed you that this would cause us as much as 2 trillion annually to darn on implement this. So how in the world is we going to darn on be able to do this without further putting our darn on economy in the hole? Mr. Yang. Oh Lord, and then he had the audacity to put Martin Luther King up in this bitch. Oh my goodness. I am now convinced that the simplest approach will prove to be effective. The solution to poverty is to abolish it directly by a now widely discussed measure, the guaranteed income. All due respect, Martin Luther King, back in your day, a single father could. So, and you also got to take in the time frame of when Martin Luther King said this shit. Martin Luther King said this shit during a time frame where back then the single father can darn go fund the household on a working wage. Now you have two people. You work in the state of North Carolina on $7.25 an hour. You barely can afford your darn on rent and stuff. So yeah, we need to take in the time frame of Martin Luther King's quote prior to his assassination, because how peaceful his approach was. He still got a bullet put in his head. Bernie Sanders, y'all already know how I feel about Bernie, honey. Barack Obama, oh, hell, it took everything just to get President Barack Obama to even agree to raise the minimum wage to $10 an hour, and that shit still didn't even happen underneath him. A cushion to try new ideas. How about we do this instead? How about we punish darn on banks that practice and darn on predatory lending, where people who have darn on ethnic sounding names are reduced, are have a reduced chance of getting qualified for a loan. If your name sounds black and you have a 780 credit score, they will give it to the white person who has less references and a credit score of 750 for the exact same loan and price for the exact same thing that you want the loan for. How about we darn gonna deal with predatory pricing and then people would be at a better chance? How about that? As opposed to trying to toss somebody $12,000. No, put me in an equal opportunity where I can work and darn gonna get proper loans. How about that? That's what black people want. That's what Asian and Native American people want. That's what Africans want. People with ethnic sounding names. That's what we want. Just give us the right to get along without us being prejudged. How about that? Without darn on judging that, oh, I come from the hood. Oh, automatically I'm bad, even though I ain't had so much as a parking ticket. But since my name is ethnic, I can't get along compared to this white person who lives in the upper Kings Grant area. How about we do that? Oh, see, this is just getting on my nerves. This whole hour video is going to end up being about darn on this. Ugh. What time is it? It's 8:50. Yeah, y'all. I'm going to end up having to do a part two. Let me go ahead and save this afterwards, and I come back to all the other people tomorrow. Truck driving alone is the most common job in 29 states with 3.5 million drivers. 94% of them are male. Uh, An additional 12 million workers supporting them is truck stops and motels across the country. What happens when the truckers start to drive themselves? We are experiencing the greatest economic and technological shift in history. The institution can't keep up. Without universal basic income, we will see opportunities shrink and more get performed by software, owl, and robots. Markets don't work well when people don't try. You know what is ironic that they say the most darn employed people are truck drivers. I hate to keep bringing this back to blackness, but recently there was a truck driver who they want you to believe hung himself. Now, despite the fact that they found that somehow his hands were tied behind his back, he was hung up in the air. He was black. Black people are not known for hanging, not by themselves. We are known for being hung back in the day, but that wasn't due to suicide. So you expect most people. I'm sorry, y'all. This darn fan above me. You expect darn people to believe that a black person hung himself, and in the evidence show that it's impossible for him to even did it. How his hands was tied up, clenched up in the fist, and he hung himself. So what's the extra $12,000 going to do towards black people that drive throughout the South that has to face those types of situations? What are you planning to do to punish these darn companies for atrocities like that? So you see how tossing money is not going to help the situation. As far as from a racial point, I don't approve from a business point. You're going in the negative. You showing that it's going to increase job growth by 600 billion, but I showed you that it's going to cost 2.7 trillion annually to implement. So every year you're going to put America $2.1 trillion in the hole. Now I'm going to come up with a video showing how giving black people reparations to the tune of $6 trillion can actually over time increase the worth in America to the tune of an extra $800 billion a year. Now, once again, that $6 trillion is a one-time payout. $2.7 trillion a year for this right here for UBI. Honey, UBI had that in 3 years. 3 years, it automatically goes to 2, 4, 6. In 3 years, this will be $8 trillion. In 3 years. Because he hasn't said he wants to make this permanent. So in 3 years, America will give an 2.7 times 3. That's 8.1. Now he said it's going to increase the growth by 600 billion a year. So minus 1.8. That's $6.3 trillion lost within a 3-year period. Where instead that 6.3 trillion dollars could have gone towards reparations, and that would have been the end of it. Versus with this, it goes on forever. So at a total loss of $2.1 trillion a year within 10 years, America is double in poverty. It goes from being $21 trillion in debt to darn on $42 trillion in debt with this UBI. Versus with reparations paid to black people, it would actually increase the worth where we have an extra $800 billion plus in income coming in to the $1.2 trillion of spending power that black people currently have in America, despite the fact that we only make up 15% of the population. But once again, I get into those numbers in a whole nother video. And as I'm keep typing all these darn icons, I'm not seeing nothing new. You keep quoting darn on people, the Roosevelt Institute. Here we go, keep quoting people from darn on 1900s, 1800s, 1700s during a time frame where bread was 5 cents. The average darn on loaf of bread that's organic costs anywhere from $3.99 to $4. But you quoting darn on, okay, what the Roosevelt Institute found? That adopted an annual $12,000 basic for every U.S. citizen over the age of 18 will permanently grow the economy 12.56 to 13.10%, or about 2.5 trillion by. Girl, I don't know how. I don't know how. It will increase the labor force by 4.5 to 4.7 million people. I don't know how giving somebody extra $1,000 and going. I don't see how that correlates to the labor force. Now that'll make so people don't have to work as hard and as taxing. But I'm trying to see how is this correlating to people working within a certain industry with this darn on extra $12,000 that anybody can qualify for regardless of darn on employment opportunity. So I'm sensing a lot of darn on contradictions within this darn on within this UBI. And notice that this is the only thing it seems like we going through. Like I honestly, is that the only thing as president we focusing on? Like his whole thing. Look at this. I'm not even about to go through all this. Won't people stop working? Hell no, not at no damn $12,000 a year. I just showed you how it won't darn gonna increase nobody out of poverty. You better not darn gonna be foolish enough and stop working at $12,000 a year. What the hell you gonna do at $12,000 a year? Now that's good for the homeless veterans and stuff. I definitely believe they should get some money to get off the streets since our darn on president who supposed to respect the troops and thank the troops respect the flag and stuff. But what happens to the darn on homeless veterans? So this is definitely good for the homeless veterans to get in a more stabilized situation. But for the average doggone working person, how the hell $12,000 gonna help a damn thing, honey? You better not doggone stop working for no damn $12,000 a year. Like what the hell kind of question is that? Why would you give universal basic income to the rich? Now, honey, that's the question I want to damn know. That's the damn question I want to fucking know. What the hell Beyonce gonna do with $12,000? Please tell me by giving everyone the UBI, the statement of accepting cash transfers from the government disappears. Additionally, it removes the incentive for anyone to remain within certain income brackets to receive benefits. If it's paid for by value added tax, as in Andrew's plan, a wealthy person will likely pay more into the system than he or she gets out. Oh, you don't say. Somebody who darn on grosses an average of $100 billion a year, I would expect they would pay more into the system. But that does not necessarily mean that you have to get rid of the stigma by giving somebody such as Beyonce, J Lo, Mark Zuckerberg, and any American $12,000 a year. You see how stupid this fool is? Talking about eliminate the stigma. I don't think nobody in Mark Zuckerberg's tax bracket is darn on talking about a damn stigma. Foolish. Why can't we just retrain people who lose their jobs? Well, I'm going to skip through this. Y'all can go through this because it already said that this darn on is giving it out to people who even don't even have darn on jobs. So the point of retraining people or not retraining people, that's not even the darn on point of this darn on UBI. Because it done pretty much made it clear that Beyonce can get UBI, Mark Zuckerberg can get UBI, the homeless crackhead on the street can get UBI, rightfully so, the veteran can get the UBI. Because I'm not saying that certain people don't need it, but it needs to be some restriction. I'm not for no free for all for everybody. Hell, we currently see that we're currently in an epidemic of darn on heroin addicts. So you give them a darn on $1,000 extra. Uh, what is that going to do? Because just said the only requirement has to be for people over the age of 18. So we ain't even going to put no drug stipulation up in here that if you have a history of drug use, we're going to put this money on hold for you. You get your act together. Honey, you about to darn on cause a lot of darn on people to darn on die out in the streets. Honey, darn on Sanctuary City gonna be looking like something off of Gotham, honey. Shout out. Oh, shit. Y'all excuse me real quick. I forgot to darn on record my Gotham. Oh, come on. Come on, TV. I'm glad I said that while I was here. Come on, TV.
Oh, the severe things settling down, late easing into the overnight, maybe a couple of sprinkles around.
Mute. Wait a minute. Oh Lord, did I miss it? Hot darn a bell. I missed it, y'all. And then the thing is, it don't even have a rerun. Hot damn. I mean, granted that I can pull it back up when it comes available on wait a minute, maybe my thing recorded it for me. No, it didn't. How to Get Away with Murder, Creed, Growing Up Hip Hop, Suicide Squad. Oh, it didn't record. See what you done did, Yang. You done messed up my darn on. And why doesn't it have a rewind? Lord. Now I'm gonna have to watch it with commercials. And it's the last one in the season too. No, gee. Let me get on up out of here after a certain period. Now you done really irritated me. I done miss my Gotham. Damn. I just knew I was gonna I was looking forward to darn on watching that tomorrow morning. Now I got to wait a couple of days till it get on the darn on DVR. Up here darn on 9 o'clock at night going over this darn on UBI, which is darn on infeasible. If universal basic income is so great, why haven't we done it already? Good question. He got all the darn on rebuttals for this darn on shit. And every time it's a roundabout answer. We came very close in the late 19th. Okay, coming close ain't close to it ain't succeeded. So stop these darn on anecdotal answers, honey. Stop this darn on roundabout answer talking about, well, we came very close. Close ain't the same as succeeding, honey. It actually passed the House of Representatives in 1969. Oh, once again, they love staying in darn on late 1960s. Back when bread was darn on 5 cents. Back when minimum wage was what, $1.25 an hour? Maybe I'm just crazy. Why is we talking about the last time that this shit came close was during a time frame where bread was 5 cents and minimum wage was probably what, $1 an hour? Since then we've been brainwashed into thinking that it was that what's good for people isn't good for the economy, but we serve big corporate interests. It ain't about serving big corporate interests. Why don't you just pay people a damn living wage? Why don't you just give me a wage of $12 an hour and increase it over time to darn on 15 by the end of 2027? That's what you need to do. We rather give money to the wealthy corporate. No, a certain party, corporate Democrats and darn on Republicans like to give to the darn on party. I'm proposing that we just raise the minimum wage. I'm proposing let's stop darn on racial profiling. I'm proposing let's penalize darn on banks that darn on prevent black people from getting a proper loan, but somehow it's okay for us to get $100,000 in education loan. You expect us to pay that back, but as soon as I graduate and I got a business plan, all of a sudden you can't give me no money. Let's stop shit like that from happening. When this leads to mass immigration to the hell, we already dealing with immigration regardless. This is even without the darn no. So once again, I don't even understand that question. Hell, we already dealing with Trump trying to darn on shut down darn on the border from Guatemalans and Mexicans and stuff. So that we're gonna have a mass immigration problem regardless of this darn on UBI, and then Puerto Rico is trying to become the 51st United States. So they're going to automatically be entitled to government benefits anyway within 90 days. And since they qualify as a state, they will fall under this UBI automatically, where they would get $12,000 guaranteed. So I don't understand whether you have an immigration or not. If Puerto Rico becomes the 51st state, you're going to have over 3 million plus people anyway. that's automatically going to be part of this. Okay? But let's see what they got to say for this. America has been the world's most desired immigration destination for 250 years. High demand for citizenship is not new. It's true that UBI in place, the demand for citizenship may raise, however, only citizens can receive UBI, and the U.S. already has one of the longest paths to citizenship in the world. UBI will make citizenship all the more meaningful. Okay, so it's I thought people supposed to come here to improve themselves. How is it meaningful? Make it come. Oh, come on, so we can give you this free $12,000 a year. That's we're gonna make this more meaningful for you to come. $12,000 a year. Really, bitch? I thought we supposed to be encouraging people to bring the best here, not the worst. And I don't even like the darn even sound remotely like that darn orange faced Donald Trump, but damn. Talking about making it more meaningful. I bet your doggone Vietnamese ass would say some shit like that. They know a disrespect to Asians, but in your damn country, I bet you when they is working in sweatshops for doggone $2 a damn day, your Vietnamese American ass would say some bullshit like that. But me as a natural born American and proud of it, uh, as far as the ones who truly built up this doggone country, I do take a doggone a little bit of offense to this talking about it will provide an incentive. Because that's basically what that's saying. Because once again, I bet you would want the doggone, it would be more meaningful. And I don't see how hard it is talking about the longest ones because it's only doggone the longest for the doggone people my skin tone. Because the people from Norway basically got Donald Trump's approval. I don't see no long 10, 20-year doggone wait time for nobody doggone your complexion, Mr. Yang. Because your woman in the doggone United States makes more than the white woman. Let's get into that. How white Asian women make 95% on the dollar to the doggone white man. But the white woman here makes 88 cents on the dollar. Mr. Yang. Honey, there's so many contradictions and shit with them. I don't understand. Women already make more than the American white woman, and then you want to give an extra 12,000 on top of her the darn on boot. But meanwhile, you focusing so much on this UBI, and income is only one thing that it takes to be. Is only one issue of what a president needs to do. And I mean, not one issue, but that's just one of many things a president it needs to focus on. I have not in this whole page seen anything about dealing with police brutality, doggone racial discriminations, dealing with doggone predatory pricing within the pharmaceutical industry, dealing with the doggone global economy with global warming, dealing with all the other things with reducing our army personnel and all of that in third world countries. You have brown and white people in America targeting doggone people in Africa over some oil because we're not fighting anybody over no true war. We ain't gone and killed doggone ISIS yet. Meanwhile, we over there guarding some damn poppy seeds, which is doggone contributing to the doggone heroin epidemic here. Now let me doggone stop right there before they doggone try to shut this doggone page down for me speaking too much truth. Y'all over in Africa guarding some doggone poppy seed, the flower that doggone creates the heroin. But y'all don't want to speak on that. Honey, that right there save you doggone hundreds of billions of dollars and stop doggone tens of thousands of doggone people in sanctuary cities and you having to doggone give them needles and shit. If you doggone tackle the source and doggone get rid of those doggone stuff, if you doggone get on to these people transporting here, which once again, coincidentally, I hate to pick on the Asian community, but I do want to point out Asians are the largest contributor amongst heroin and doggone crack cocaine, which also led to the destruction of the black community in the 1980s crack epidemic. Mr. Yang, with your Vietnamese ass. Let's talk about that. Maybe if you darn gonna get your people together as Asians. And you know I'm already pissed off because I just got finished doing a goddamn video. Matter of fact, the last video I did on my YouTube was y'all motherfuckers in blackface. Okay, I don't want to hear about no friend suggestion right now. I'm already going in. Okay, my face disappeared for a second. But anyways, I just got finished doing a video about y'all motherfuckers darn gone parading blackface. And now you coming up here with this darn gone UBI shit. And this the only thing you talking about. I ain't heard nothing about darn gone helping out anybody of other races. From DACA, children being mixed up with these darn gone gang drug lords. You ain't said nothing about getting them together. Immigration reform. I ain't heard nothing about darn gone economy. None of that. All the thing I heard is UBI, 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 UBI. What you gonna do else besides UBI? I had this your whole page. UBI. When employees start paying jobs less. Everything on this bitch is UBI. This sounds great. What can I do to make it happen? I don't see. Join the fight. I'm not joining shit. I'm not joining shit, Yang, because you have this your whole platform. So you are going to become president of the United States just to pass one bill, because your whole page is broad. I mean, it's not broad at all. This is your whole platform. This is your whole platform. And I don't even know why you had the audacity to try to act like you all inclusive with a black woman and a little adorable black child up on here. Now, shout out for the doggone positive promotion of type 4 hair. Honey, shout out to my type 4 and kinky 3C sisters. However, that does not distract me from the fact that this is your entire platform. I have not heard you of any other thing on here. Oh Lord, we are an hour and 2 minutes in. I'm sorry for this video being long. And I know we supposed to got to Senator Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Merriam-Webster, but I'm going to have to do them tomorrow. Because this shit just irritated me to no end. Well, I want to know y'all thoughts on this bullshit. Like I said, this is not towards all Asian Americans, but I do feel some type of way that a first generation Asian American is going for president of the United States, and he is only focusing on the stereotype of what Asians are known for, which is money and technology. Like, don't you want to not play into that damn stereotype? And as a president, like I said, you cannot focus on just this UBI bill. You got to focus on Army personnel. Economics. I'm going to keep repeating myself until it gets ingrained because it says if a repetition is key. So maybe if I keep repeating myself like a broken record, Mr. Yang might come across this video and change up his rhetoric. Because once again, until you make it a safe society for a doggone beautiful black woman and her doggone child to go down the street without being profiled, without her being 50% disqualified on an application because her name might sound ethnic, $12,000 ain't going to do shit. $12,000 is not going to lift her standard of living. $12,000 might not even doggone help out medical wise, depending on if the doggone pharmaceutical industry keep raising their prices or not. Because you haven't addressed that. And it looks like you don't ever plan on to. Because this is what your entire platform is on. UBI. UBI. But y'all leave y'all thoughts down below. What are y'all thoughts on this UBI? And my doggone thoughts on breaking down this whole doggone page of what UBI is. Like I said, I don't see no benefits of giving somebody $12,000 a year. He talking about it's going to bring in all these $1 trillion of growth. Talking about it's going to increase the workforce. I love to see that study of where it shows that giving somebody some free money is going to drive them to go to the workforce. Hell, of all things, 15% of us are entrepreneur mindset. It would actually increase us to self-fund ourselves for our own businesses. So you're already starting out with 85% of that population size. because 15% of us are entrepreneurs at heart and believe in being self-employed business owners or having our own businesses. So I'm seeing where you getting this workforce to the tune of $7 trillion. I want to see the actual charts. I want to actually see some credible resources, Mr. Yang. I don't want you to pull out no darn statements from motherfucking 1967 from darn the late great Dr. Martin Luther King. I don't want to hear no statements from the darn 1969 back when bread was 5 cents. When has it shown? It showed me some darn data in the late 2000s. Not no damn empty promises from darn President Barack Obama. Because if he thought the shit was darn all that good, how come he didn't propose the motherfucker when he was in office? You couldn't even get President Obama to raise the minimum wage to $10 an hour. So how the hell was this going to go through, Mr. Yang? But once again, y'all leave y'all thoughts down below in the comment section. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see y'all soon with more videos. And I will try to calm down within the next one, although I might get turned up a little bit because we're going to be talking about Senator Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, and Merriam Webster in the second one. So y'all subscribe and stay tuned for that video.